Released Kuriga students reunite with families, get government scholarship.
At Easter, President Tinubu assures current hardship is momentary. IGP Egbetokun promises adequate security.
CBN reviews capital requirement for banks, set $500 billion for banks with international authorization.
And on Good Morning Nigeria today, we shall discuss Good Friday, lessons on sacrifice and love.
Sacrifice connotes suffering, loss, or giving up for an ideal, a belief, or an end. This encapsulates what Jesus Christ did for mankind when he gave his life for sin, as documented in the Bible.
This message resonates today as Christians mark Good Friday and reflect on the lessons from the sacrifice of Jesus Christ in the quest to build the nation.
Love for country has inspired many to pay a high price, even the ultimate price, to meet many national ideals. Recall that just a few weeks ago, 17 military personnel paid the supreme price at a national assignment in Delta State.
It is also important to take some time and reflect on the level of love you have for your country. What can you do out of love for Nigeria? Maybe I should ask Ademola first.
That's a big question. That's a deep question, and I believe every Nigerian needs to answer this at some point. Though for me, I can say I love Nigeria. Remember that song? I love Nigeria, I no go die. Inside I go leave. And okay, go ahead.
But away from words, what about actions?
Well, we have to be patriotic.
Okay. You know, I also love Nigeria, like Demola, and I do my best to show it. But it's important to know that acts of patriotism may not be easy to do, but they are necessary to build a Nigeria that posterity will appreciate.
That's true. Recently, President Bola Tinubu made a national call for sacrifice, explaining that it is required to achieve Nigeria's restoration.
Well, other well-meaning Nigerians also insist that both leaders and citizens need to sacrifice for national development. And that's our focus on Good Morning Nigeria today. It's a beautiful Good Friday. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ian John.
And I am Ademola Adeoye. Thanks for joining us. The weekend begins with a holiday, Good Friday. Quite a long weekend, if I may say. Welcome to the program. We are reaching you on the network service of the NTA, Chukudi Okoli Ubaja. Will join us for our usual newspaper review. But we must first get the news highlights from Olajide Bello.
And just before Olajide would hit us, it's important to mention that today is the president's birthday. Although he doesn't want anyone to celebrate, we just have to mention it also.
So good morning, happy birthday, Mr. President.
President, exactly. Olajide.
Good morning, Yenre, and good morning, Ademola. I think I have to book a studio session for Ademola very soon because of his voice and the song that he just sang. Good morning, Nigerian. Here is the AM News. Nigerians, particularly religious leaders, have been advised to continue to imbibe and preach the spirit of patriotism, believing that the country will overcome its current socio-economic challenges. President Bola Tinubu said this as he hosted traditional and religious leaders to Iftar Ramadan dinner at the State House. He acknowledged the hardship citizens are passing through, but described it as a momentary challenge which is gradually coming to an end.
The nation is in your hand. The prayer is in your mind. Pray for our country. Educate our children.
Kashim Shettima also implored the traditional and religious leaders to continue to support the administration as the president means well for the country.
Doom are going silent. They were anticipating the naira will go to 5,000 to the dollar. Now the dollar is crashing, and they are counting their losses.
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, is assuring Nigerians of the force's commitment to ensuring the safety and security of all citizens and visitors during the Easter celebrations. The IGP orders round-the-clock security and protection of public spaces across the country. State Commissioners of Police and their Supervisory Zonal Assistant Inspectors General of Police are tasked with deploying police personnel and operational assets to areas of security threats within their respective areas of responsibility. The IGP felicitates with Nigerians, especially the Christian community, on the occasion of the Easter celebrations and urges citizens to cooperate with credible information to help fight crime. The released abducted students of Kuriga are finally conveyed home to be reunited with their families. The Kaduna State government has offered scholarships to all the students and supports the families of the late teacher with 10 million naira.
37, like I promised them, they will be my children by the grace of God. But I will use Obasani Foundation to look after their education, and I will try as much as possible to support them.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised the capital requirements for commercial, merchant and non-interest banks in Nigeria to maintain a safe, sound and stable banking system. In a circular sent to all banks and signed by Director of Financial Policy and Regulations Department of the CBN, Haruna Mustafa, indicates that commercial banks with international authorization are to meet the minimum requirement of 200 billion for national banks, 50 billion for regional and merchant banks, while 20 and 10 billion were set for non-interest banks at national and regional levels. The Apex Bank says all banks are required to meet the minimum capital requirements within 24 months starting from April 1st, 2024 to 31st of March, 2026. The move is said to be in line with Section 9 of the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020. The federal government has relaunched the National Trade Facilitation Committee with commitment to deliver unworkable frameworks that will improve transport infrastructure, customs procedures, ports efficiency and usage of its solutions.
With the commitment of the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on economic recovery, the narrative will surely change in the future. I look up to you for the economic development that this country severely needs.
Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Aniti, also added that the membership of the Trade Facilitation and Liberalization Committee with the view to reinvigorating the actualization of set targets. As daunting as tuberculosis is in Nigeria and other parts of the world, sustained and concerted efforts by all critical stakeholders can end the scourge well before the year 2030. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, expressed this confidence at her investiture as a global and national Stop TB champion by Global Stop TB Partnership, Geneva in Abuja.
I call upon government at all levels, legislators, private sector partners, intensify their efforts to working together to end tuberculosis by ensuring that everyone has access to quality TB diagnosis and treatment services.
And that's the news for now. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Ademola Anyere after this break.